everyone, thanks for coming today. I am Lindsay Neath. I am a personalized learning specialist with McGraw-Hill Education. I'm really excited to share with you one of our unique products, Redbird Mathematics, today. Redbird is an adaptive learning program that was developed at Stanford with over 25 years of research. Now, I just want to clarify what adaptive learning means to us at McGraw-Hill Education, as I know that it has become a buzzword in education these days. So, adaptive learning assigns each student their own individual pathway based on their own personal strengths and weaknesses and adapts to a student in real time. I saw recently from your analyzing your standardized test data that 40% of your students were advanced or proficient on your most recent standardized test, and about 60% were below basic or basic. Now, what that information tells me is that you have a very wide range of learners in your classroom, and meeting the needs of every single learner can be a huge challenge for teachers. Now, Redbird Mathematics can solve this challenge because it truly personalizes instruction for each and every student. As an educator, I always ask myself two questions when evaluating a product. First off, is it going to boost my student achievement? And second, is it going to help me be a more efficient teacher? I think that after this demo, you will see that Redbird Mathematics can do both of those. So, Redbird starts with a course placement. Every student takes a course placement test that then identifies the grade level and the content that they are ready to work on. From the course placement, each student starts a unit. This is a demo from a 4th grade classroom. And this is a sample of what one of the units looks like. Each unit starts with a video that connects the mathematical concepts to real-world situations. From there, the students actually move into the learning piece of this. Now, as you can see, we've got our extend, our apply, and our create. So this is really working its way up Bloom's taxonomy as the students gain more and more knowledge, ending with them creating something and synthesizing information. So here we start in the understanding phase where a student is able to learn new content using multiple different instructional modalities. Each lesson starts with the objectives, similar to how a teacher would start by posting their objectives on their board so the student knows what they are about to learn. Many of the lessons in the unit will also have a video that provides explicit instruction for the student for the particular content that they are learning. Also, Redbird uses various different manipulatives to assist the student in their learning. Here's an example of one of the digital manipulatives, and one of the reasons I love the digital manipulatives is it allows the students to have that visual and kinesthetic piece without taking out a bunch of base 10 blocks and making the mess that is to clean up. So there are a variety of digital manipulatives that the students get to have access to on Redbird Mathematics. From the understanding piece, students are required to apply the conceptual knowledge that they've gained to solve complex problems. Okay? So from here, we have a question mark here. I can click on this and I can get an example similar to the problem that I'm working on to assist me with that problem. Now, I think that this is a great place where teachers could use a graphic organizer in their classroom. It will really help to hold the students accountable for following along with the lesson, and it helps to engage them in that content. Students get 2 attempts to work on each problem. Now, I'm going to show you what happens if a student gets one of the problems incorrect on the first time. So I just entered some answers in there, And now I have 2 question marks that have appeared above my answer box. Now what these question marks do is the students can click on them and then they can see common misconceptions that students have about that topic and have the opportunity to then go back and try that problem again. If they don't get the question right after 2 times, it will then give them feedback and explain to them how to get that correct answer. Okay. So complexity increases with each part of the question. So this will start the basic part. Part B will take what they did in part A and apply that, and then part C is where they actually come up with their answer. Now Redbird also assesses the students as they are working. A lot of the assessment questions are multi-step problems that are very similar to the problems that students would see on standardized tests. So really helping them become more comfortable with with those real world situation problems. Now, if students get a lesson incorrect, if they're not answering questions correctly, what will happen is it will send students back to a precursor lesson. This will help fill in those gaps in knowledge that they may have and then get them ready to learn that grade level content. Also part of the Redbird Mathematics program are the games. Now these games are great, there's many of them in the program and they really help to engage the students in the program. Also, they move beyond fluency and really do help with the conceptual understanding and applying that knowledge that they have learned throughout the lesson. Another feature of the Redbird program is the replay. A teacher can actually access a replay of the student's keystrokes. So the teacher can see exactly what the student entered and what they tried, so then they can best adjust their teaching to meet that student's needs after seeing what the student attempted and what their thought processes were there. One of my favorite pieces of Redbird Mathematics are the projects. The projects really allow students to create something and meet that highest level of Bloom's taxonomy. So each product begins with a short video that relates the topic they're working to a STEM profession or a real life situation. Each project begins with some background information on the topic, and from there the students have to complete a task analysis where they actually decide on the tasks that they need to complete to be able to solve this particular problem. From the task analysis, the students then synthesize multiple pieces of information to solve these problems. So all these green dots here give the student another piece of information that they would need to solve these problems, and they have to take information from all of those sources and synthesize that to be able to solve the problems for the project-based learning piece of this. From this part, the students are actually asked to either design something, code something, or simulate something. So the design piece really allows them to make a visual solution to a problem similar to this one while meeting math constraints. Now, the coding part allows them to take that computational thinking that they developed and apply it to programming basics. If it's a simulation, the students are manipulating variables to find solutions. So this wraps up the student piece of Redbird Mathematics, and I'm really excited to share with you the data piece and how it looks on the teacher view of all of this and the administrator view. So I am going to show you some of the different data reports that the teachers and administrators have access to. So the data reports are great for a couple of things. First off, they help you to track student progress. You can use this information to drive and inform your instruction. It's a great way to be transparent with parents about student progress too. This first report that I pulled up here is called the Snapshot Progress Report, and each student has one of these, and it shows each student's individual pathway. Now, a lot of times students love looking at this, and it really helps them hold them accountable for their learning here. By glancing at this, a teacher can tell what problems a student got right on the first time, what problems they got right on the second time, and what problems they still may need some help with there. This is my personal favorite report as a teacher. Up top here, we have all the standards in a particular unit. This report can be so helpful for a couple of different reasons. First off, it can really help a teacher pinpoint what students need help with particular standards. So from here, I can see what students have showed proficiency in a standard. If they're in purple, I can see that they're still working towards that standard. If they're in red, I know that they didn't show proficiency. And if they're in blue, I can tell that they showed partial proficiency. This can help teachers to make their small group instruction to make sure that they're really targeting those skills that each and every student needs, or help drive their whole class instruction if they see any trends in what standards may or may not have been met here. Lastly, we have the administrator view. Now, Redbird Mathematics is suggested to be used for 60 to 90 minutes a week, and students should be completing 2 lessons per week. That's how we got our best results with Redbird. So this allows an administrator to log in and see by school and then by teacher the amount of time that students in their class are using the program and how many lessons they're completing a week. So they, at a quick glance, can tell if the schools and classrooms are using this program with fidelity. So I know everyone's probably wondering, well, how can I implement this into my classroom? I think there's a couple different ways that we can do this. First off, we can use it for small group instruction. While a teacher may be working with a small group on the core skill for that day or that week, the other students can be working at their desks on Redbird Mathematics, doing something that is truly personalized to each and every one of them. Another way is to do student choice. I know a lot of times in intermediate and middle school, teachers will assign multiple assignments that are to be done over the course of the week. Having students complete 2 Redbird lessons a week can be one of the assignments that students may have to complete over that course of time. Lastly, is just having the students do this as an individual rotation. Sometimes teachers get called into a meeting, they may go home sick. Instead of losing that instructional time, students can be working on Redbird Mathematics and still be receiving meaningful instruction during that time. So to wrap all of this up, how does Redbird help boost student achievement? Okay. Well, it fills in those gaps in learning, which really helps to accelerate student achievement. Okay. It's been proven to boost student achievement by up to 45% when it's used regularly. Okay. How is it going to make my life as a teacher easier and more efficient? It streamlines a lot of the data collection pieces for the teacher and the administrator, and it assists the teacher in driving their instruction and informing that planning using all the various data resources that Redbird provides. Okay. I hope everyone enjoyed learning about Redbird today, and I would like to know if anybody has any questions or concerns before we get you signed up for a subscription.